What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Thai Life. So today I want to talk about sculpting. What is sculpting? A lot of people always talk about like sculpting is better, tips is better. But from my experience, they work in different ways, y'all. Like every client is different. Every single nail that y'all touch is gonna be different. So y'all gonna have different solution. And to me, sculpting and tips are like just a different solution for that type of nails. You know what I mean? My name is Min, y'all. I'm just an ordinary nail tech. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, just do so. And if you find this video useful, because I'm all about sharing my life experience, sharing my thoughts about the nail industry, and really bringing the nail community together and help one another out. That's my goal. So this client right here, the reason why I'm going to go in with the sculpting method is because we have tried tips on for her. She works in retail. And you know, with retail, they hard on their hand. They got to do merchandising. They got to do all the fixtures and all that. And then we tend to notice that the side of her nail kind of lift away from the tips. So after that, I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and do sculpting. And that's what we call free form back in the days, y'all. You know? So we went with the sculpting a couple times. And then we noticed that when we laid the sculpting acrylic down, the acrylic is able to wrap under her nails, all around her nails. And then after that, we shave it down. And when she came back, she didn't have none of those underlifting. So we found solution for her. And that's what I'm trying to say. Every client's different. Because some clients, they don't like sculpting because they feel like sculpting is too weak. Some clients say they want tips only because it's faster. So there's really no right or wrong in the industry of nails, rather you doing sculpting or tips. What matters is you are using some solution to solve the client's nails. But for those of you who don't like sculpting, it's because applying the form is hard. Adding the acrylic on top of the form and forming the shape is hard. Well, you in luck now, because I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you how I do this form. And yes, you're right. Adding the form onto the nail is hard because some nails are different. There are nails that you cannot add form. Let's say you have a client who have very short nails and their skin is wrapping over their nails. There's no way you can add a form because a form requires you to have some kind of natural nails length so that you can stick the form under the nails, right? So after that, it's very hard to apply form when the nail is very curvy. If the nail is too curvy, you have to bend the form a little bit more, and sometimes that takes away from the shape because you want that form to be nice and round perfectly. So as y'all looking at this client right here, I'm forming the nails and I'm making sure that I fold it perfectly nice and round. I use my hand, I tightly pinch all the sticky adhesive onto her nails. As I'm doing this, I'm very careful with the paper, with the form. I don't want to be too hard. When you press it in too hard, it's going to create like a hard creak. And you don't want to do that. So this time, you just want to take your time. You stay focused. You know, nobody's going to try to tell you to rush in this process. And the clients that whoever requests for form or sculpting, they're going to know it's going to take time. When they request for the service, more likely, they have done this service before. And a lot of time I use form to fix a finger. When the clients come back with broken nails, regardless if I applied tips for them before, but the certain way of the nail is broken, I'm able to use form to fix that. And that's why form is so useful. And after that, I'm going to go into primer 2 times. And I tell you one thing, once you understand the form method, you're going to find it a lot faster than tips application. Because with tips application, you have to shape the tips to get to the shape that the clients want. With form, you're able to do that as you are laying the acrylic. And we're going to get that pretty soon. I'm going to show you how to do that. And that's the second part why sculpting is hard for a lot of people who don't do sculpting. And that's why they prefer tips. It's this next part where we are about to do the acrylic application. Because when you guys are doing acrylic application on tips, once you shape the tips, you lay the acrylic on top of the tips. The acrylic lays down onto the tips, however shape that you put it. But when you are doing form, there is no shaping. The form is just a long sticking paper that's sticking out. And whatever length that the client is getting, you have to give the clients that length with the shape. And that's the hard part. And on top of that, you have to eyeball the length. You got to make sure the length is perfectly. And what's nice about these forms is that it has these grid that tells you how long the nails you want the clients to have. And you can show the clients to pick a grid. That's what I did. Okay. So when I am applying the acrylic for a form, of course, in the acrylic process, you want to have the apex. The longer the length, you want to have a certain thickness in the amount of the nails. But when I am doing sculpting, the first focus is I want a foundation. I want a good platform. I want a foundation where I can work on top of that foundation. Because when it comes to form, once you lay the acrylic, the form start moving around, y'all. Sometimes it moves, and that's why the way I am holding her hand, I'm kind of holding down the form. Some of my finger on the bottom sometimes have to lift up the form so that it doesn't push it down under the nails. Because the goal throughout this process is to make sure the form is nice and straight. Okay? Because when it's straight, it's easy for you to keep that nice foundation of your first base of acrylic going nice and smooth. Okay? Once I get the surface nice and smooth, I just go on. But the goal of this process is that I want to get a good foundation on all the fingers, and then I can go back and add more acrylic to get the apex going, to cover the area that I need to cover. Because once you lay the foundation on, it's like you adding a thin tips. Now you can get all the days to work with it. But the hard part about doing this part is that the adhesive of the forms sometimes tend to shift as you are going on to the next finger. So you got to make sure you got to readjust here and there. And I tell you what, yes, it can be a hassle doing that. But once you get the hang of it, I promise you, it's going to get a lot easier. That's just the way this artwork. Anything you do, the longer you do it, it's just the better you get. Practice makes perfect, you know? And here's another thing, y'all. This is, luckily, it's still in good temperature season. Imagine doing sculpting in a cold weather. When you guys are applying acrylic in a cold weather, even on tips, it's already hard because the acrylic tips constantly drip, 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 right? And then imagine you try to do on form. That's going to be a lot harder. So, you know, just work your way, understand the amount of ratio you're picking up. That's my biggest advice I can give you when it comes to picking up a perfect bead. The size of your brush amount of monomers is able to suck up, and then when you dip your brush into the acrylic, you can see the transformation of the acrylic. If it's really cold weather, once you pick up the bead, you can just let the bead sit outside for at least a couple seconds in your head before you lay it on to the nail. That's my best way to control the acrylic from not dripping. And also using a good monomers. Like the monomers that I am using right now is Young Nail Monomer, which is EMA, okay? Which is the good stuff. Why do I say it's the good stuff? It does matter because there's so many different type of monomers out there, and some of them dries out really fast. And you guys probably thinking like, well, that's a good thing, right? Good and bad. Because if you guys are doing some color acrylic design and the monomer tend to dry the acrylic very fast, you won't have time to do that specific design with your acrylic colors, okay? And a lot of the EMA monomers tend to dry a little bit slower and tend to not heat up the acrylic while it's drying. But the MMA is one of those monomers that we don't want to use on our clients. The reason is that as nail tech, our goal is to stay away from toxic chemical, because we know we are dealing with so many type of chemical throughout our days in the salon, or even if you work at home. So if we can minimize the toxic of the monomers, then we need to use the better stuff. That is why EMA is where we have to use. I know a lot of salons out there, trying to cut costs by using MMA, and that's why the acrylics sometimes heat up on the client's nails. And the clients do tell me, hey, sometimes I don't know why when I go to other salon, my hand gets really burned when the acrylic is heat up. Or sometimes I have rashes. Guys, MMA is for dentistry. MMA is what they make dentures. It's a hard surface. Do you know that if that stays on your nails, and if they accidentally slam the door in their nails, the whole fingernail can come off because it's on your nails so hard? Sometimes it can eat up your nails because how long that chemical has been on your nails. That's why we do not use MMA. I just want to share with y'all that, because that is very important when it comes to understanding what is the best chemical for your monomers. If you guys are new to the nail industry and you want to learn more about the nail world, please subscribe to my channel. And if you love what you're hearing so far, give it a thumbs up and share this video. I'm always here to share with you my thoughts. I'm always here to share with you my experience so that you can take my experience and grow with your career. That's all I want to do to y'all. But it is very important that we pick the right solution. As you know, as the future takes forward in this industry, more salons are going with organic product, no animal testing. Everything has to be clean energy. That is called saving the planet. So we as nail tech need to take step in those directions so that we can protect ourselves from working with bad chemicals. And that's me sharing with you this from my heart, because I know how it is, y'all. This industry, you guys are breathing chemical every single day. So please wear a mask, okay? And keep the mask on. Look, especially for the ladies. Sometimes the ladies put makeup on, and I know y'all want to show off your beautiful face. But trust me, you got to protect your lungs from the fume. And I know if I say this, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, then y'all should get a different job y'all complaining about. No, it's not about complaining. It's just working safely, okay? It's just any job. If you're a nurse and you go and deal with patient, you better put on some gloves, okay? It's not that you hate your job, that's why you put on gloves. It's just you want to work safely. Same thing with nail tech. We need to protect ourselves because every single day we are dealing with people from different area. And we are also dealing with the chemical in the salon or at home. So protect yourself and put on a mask. Wear a glove if you want to. You know what I mean? So back to this freeform, y'all, because I just want to share with you my experience, and sometimes I get off track. So don't mind me if I get off track, because anything I share with you, y'all can take it and y'all can run however you want with it. But anyways, as y'all can see, I laid the foundation on already, right? So now, y'all see how I got the foundation and the shape on? But at this moment right here, if you really look closely, the surface is just very flat. It doesn't have any type of apex. It doesn't have any type of like nice aerodynamic angle. So that's where I'm going to go back and I'm going to add more acrylic. But it's so much easier now. Because I got the shape down, I'm just going to go ahead and just do another set of nails on her. But there's the platform. I took all the form out already. You know what I mean? Look how easy it is, y'all. So that's how I did it. That's my method for efficiency. Like I said, this whole set right here took me 1 hour and 40 minutes, including a French design and some rhinestone, y'all. Okay? 1 hour, 40 minutes. Okay? But that is me putting a lot of quality in there, though. Okay? We were talking, I was not just trying. We even make a TikTok video. So meaning we were relaxed. We were not rushing. Okay? But what main thing is you got to understand, you got to plan out your process. Like I say in my previous video, as a nail tech, any type of service that you are doing on your clients, you got to come in with a plan. You got to come in with an execution. You got to know, like, okay, if I'm going to do this type of set, how long do I want to take? You know what I mean? You have to ask yourself that question and really have an answer for that. I see so many nail techs out there spending 3 hours, 4 hours, and they end up charging what, $55? You know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna make it like that. You wanna make it, you gotta be fast, but I'm not talking about rushing here. See, when I say fast, some of y'all probably like, oh, he talking about rushing. No, no, no. Fast means efficient, okay? I didn't say rush, okay? There's a difference between fast and rush. When you fast, it means you plan out your route and you got there fast. When you rush, is you scattering, trying to get there fast. And that's the big difference. So once I laid the acrylic and I built the apex, you know it's all about the shaping and it's all about filing the cuticle down and it's trying to get everything back to where she wanted to be. So this is called the cleanup part, y'all. After the acrylic application, I call this the cleanup part, where you clean everything up, it's like the craft back to where it needs to be. You know what I mean? But my biggest advice I can give you is plan out your direction, which way you want to go. If you were going to do a free form, how you want to do it, what kind of nails you want to do it, you know what I mean? So to answer those questions that you guys always argue about in the social media, it's like sculpting is better or sculpting nail tech is better than tip nail tech. You know what, honestly, that's BS, because at the end of the day, it's all depends on the nails of the clients. You know what I mean? Not every client can do tips and not every client can do sculpting. So we got to make sure as a nail tech, we are open to free education. We are open-minded to take care on any type of task. The problem that I see with this new generation nail tech is that y'all pick and choose what y'all want to do, which that's fine. Do you, boo. Do you. Like, you can do whatever you want. But I'm just going to say this right here. If you're going to limit yourself certain type of service, you're just going to limit your money to make more. That's all I got to say. That's why as a nail tech myself, I'm always there to open my knowledge, learn new education, new design, so that I can make more money and offer to my client. That's the kind of nail tech you want to be. You don't want to be that nail tech that just get too damn comfortable with the same craft over and over. Do you know you in the beauty industry? This industry changed overnight, y'all. The moment you finish with an ombre, they come out with color ombre. After you color ombre, they come up with some flower. After that, they do some 3D. It's non-stop, so you gotta be ready for it, you know? And one more thing, y'all. One more thing. Let me get this out of my chest to help y'all out. Y'all cannot be picky with the client, y'all. Y'all gonna see some nasty looking nails and y'all gotta be the solution. Stop trying to tell the client go find another nail tech, or stop trying to tell the client, oh, I don't work on people's work. Why would you not work on people's work? How you know the last person did a bad job? You got to examine the nails before you give them that answer that you don't work on people's work. You know what I mean? What if the last person did a good job, but she went out of town, so the client need her nails and now she found you? Huh? You're not gonna tell her that her nail tech did a bad job. You know what I mean? You got to change that personality, y'all. We got to. You know what I mean? We got to. But anyway, shoot, I sound like I'm yelling at y'all when I'm trying to teach y'all about this stuff. But as y'all can see, look at the nails, y'all. When y'all using the e-file, right? Let me tell y'all something about the e-file. I always use my e-file at maximum speed. I don't care what RPM I'm using. Y'all can give me any type of machine, I max that shit out. The reason why I like to max that thing out is because I like to get that nice smooth touch. I feel like when my machine is spinning slow, I just feel like it doesn't give me a smooth surface. And I'm all about smooth surface, y'all, because that's what you want the nails to be. You might be putting on some artificial nails, but you don't gotta make it look artificial. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. So I went ahead and smoothed the surface. But at the same time, you gotta make sure you know where the apex and you smooth down from the apex, y'all. Okay? Don't go too hard on the tips. It's just because, you know, and at the same time, I always clean under the nail when it comes to freeform. I always clean because sometimes you get acrylic kind of leaking under the nail, like I say earlier, and you gotta clean it up. But I always focus on the cuticles, y'all. If y'all don't want any type of lifting on your nails, it's all about the cuticle flushing, okay? I grow up in this industry. One of the guys that I work at in the salon, the first thing he told me is that if you don't want any type of lift, you apply the acrylic perfectly around the cuticle and you flush it really well. The more flushing you do, the less lift it get. That's true, but look, y'all, if y'all flush that motherfucker too hard, you know that shit is going to get the ring of fire, okay? So be gentle too. Even though I am focused on the cuticle area, and I'm sorry if I just cussed, I apologize about that. But what I was just getting hyped up, that's why. But anyways, as y'all cleaning the cuticles, right? Y'all gotta make sure y'all clean it well, but without giving them the ring of fire. Don't give them no burn. And the buffing, y'all. I always tell my employee when I'm teaching them how to do nails. When in doubt, buff it out. You know what I mean? When you feel like you didn't flush the cuticle good enough, when you feel like you didn't smooth out the surface good enough, when in doubt, you buff it out, okay? Because the buffing is so important. And when you buff, make sure you buff under the nails, y'all. Don't just buff the top surface. And when you buff, don't buff on their skin. You're gonna make sure you're gonna scratch their skin if you buff on their skin, y'all. And I always have a file on my hand when I'm buffing, because sometimes when you buff, you kind of change the shape. And don't buff the side of the shape, y'all. Just buff the top surface and the bottom. Y'all buff too hard, it changes the shape. Don't do that to yourself. I've done that so many times, so I'm telling y'all not to do that. You know what I mean? But pretty much, I'm about to finish, y'all, with the freeform. And again, y'all can do this. It ain't that hard. Like, it's literally not that hard. It's really simple. That, like I say, the hard part is you adding the form on and you do the application. You get those two down, it's so much easier than a tips application. I'm not playing. Like, tips, it actually takes longer because you gotta put the tips on and file. But then this, you just kind of form it. That's why they call it sculpting. Like, you sculpting the nail, you forming it. Nowadays they call it sculpting. It's like a fancy word, but back in the day it's all about freeform. And you know, this method right here, let me give y'all some history about freeform. Freeform was the first method of nail extension before tips was invented, y'all. Before they came out with all these tips that y'all putting on, form was the mothership of nail extension. You got acrylic and you got a form, you extend the nail, okay? Don't even get me into talking about silk wrap and other method of, but form is a very old school method. Back in the day, people used it a lot. Once tips came out, it kind of vanished a little bit, but back now, the new gangster nail tech is bringing form back, and they calling it sculptor, like they are Michelangelo or something. Dang, you know what I mean? But that's awesome though. That's what this nail game is going big, y'all. This nail game right here ain't going nowhere. People are making money in this nail game, but y'all gotta do it right. Y'all gotta hustle hard. This game no easy game to play. You know what I mean? You think everybody make it in this industry? Hell no. You gotta be patient. You know, you gotta be calm. You gotta be a people person. You gotta know how to problem solve. You gotta learn how to work outside your comfort zone. That's how you're gonna make it. So anyways, I'm about to go in with the design. If y'all ever do a French, let me show you how to do a French. Y'all just paint the French however deep you want it to be. And then later you get a little thin line brush and you just kind of clean around the edges, y'all. I guarantee y'all gonna save a lot of time. I'm not even playing around when I say that. Like, you are gonna save a lot of time. You see how fast I did that French? Look, I'm just gonna go in. I wanna show y'all, man. All love right here, y'all. And make sure y'all like this video by now. Shoot, all this talking that I'm doing, I'm getting hella thirsty, y'all. But I still gotta finish because the video ain't over yet. But y'all give it a thumbs up, man. Give me some love and give me some comments. Like, let me know how y'all think of the video. Y'all got any questions, man? Y'all make me feel like I'm talking to myself and y'all got no question. Don't be shy now. But anyway, so look, I'm gonna go in with the line brush. I dip it with some green and I'm just gonna outline the edge, y'all. If I want that French to be hella steep, just go deeper. That's all you gotta do. It ain't that hard. But you see how fast I did it? I'm not even playing, yo. I know y'all see a lot of social media showing y'all different type of way to do a French. Look, man, they just trying to be fancy pantsy. Me, I'm not trying to do all that. I'm trying to save time so that I can be ready for my next appointment. You know what I mean? So I just cleaned up the line and it is so clean. Like, the client is always loving it. And this method, y'all, I've been using for a while now, and I tell you what, it saved so much time. Like, the amount of time that it saved is incredible, and it gives me time to add like other designs onto my clients' nails. You know what I mean? So, guys, at the end of the day, you just gotta trust me what I say. Y'all can do this and be a solution. As a nail tech, client's gonna bring you the problem, you be the solution. Just come up the best route for them for their nails extension, and pretty much they're gonna become your loyal customer. You educate them, they appreciate your education, and later on that comes with a big tip and big reward. And imagine if you are able to do different type of process in the nail industry, you're just more likely to be better than a lot of nail tech out there who only pick one type of service to stick with. You know what I mean? So expand yourself, y'all, and really enjoy what you do. Have fun. Look how beautiful that set is, y'all. And make sure y'all subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see y'all on my next video. Much love and stay blessed.